world.
It's all about Benita.
It's good film, man.
Support the Benita Show.
Oh,
We need more people like her in St. Louis.
oh, thank you. What did you say, Randy?
See, she's tricky. She is tricky. Sneaky woman, that Bonita.
I'm sorry, who you guys talking about?
It's the Bonita Show.
Beatle Bob, your swinging soiree for tonight. And first of all, thank you all for coming to the Rue Lafayette, our gracious host tonight. Let's hear for Rue Lafayette.
Yeah!
Well, I tell you what, I've been around a lot throughout the country to a lot of major music festivals and been interviewed by a lot of great people, from MTV to, radio stations, local TV stations, and all the festivals I've been able to host. But the one lady that I really trust the most and really look forward to interviewing, because she's such a splendid hostess, gets the most out of the people she interviews, and makes you feel right at home, is the gal I'm about to introduce now. She's the geeter with the heater, the boss with the sauce. Would you please give it up for Bonita?
All of you for coming out tonight. We have an awesome show lined up for you. This is the Benita Show, where we showcase positive artists and a positive intro here. Thank you again for coming out. Thank you, Araceli, for letting us use your restaurant tonight. Thank you. Isn't this place awesome? Yeah. We have an awesome MC tonight, Longhorn The Comedian. Tonight. We actually created my theme show song, so thank you. Yeah. Right. And without further ado, our great MC, Longhorn The Comedian.
Yeah. Woo!
I'm not going to stand up very long. I'm just going because it's hot and I haven't worn this suit since Easter of 2006. So, okay, that's going to be funny to me too. But no, I appreciate y'all. This is my first time over here at this little restaurant. Beautiful little restaurant. They got the little dog running around. Keep the dog away from me. But y'all going to have to laugh a little bit tonight because I guess I'm supposed to be the comic relief, although I do feel like a hostage preacher. Now, because last time I was in front of this many white people with this much light, they said number 3 turn left. So I need y'all to laugh a little bit. I mean, Bonita invited me and I really appreciate it. She came out and seen me perform on other occasions, but to see somebody doing something that's positive, what she's doing is really, really an awesome thing. Like me, my life, I travel the country. Actually, I'm now what they call international. I just got back from Germany performing for my second time for the U.S. troops. I'm going back in September one more time. As long as they keep bringing me, I'm going to keep going. But my heritage is really simple. I'm from Texas. I'm a little town in Texas called Heidenhammer. Town so small we got stop signs saying whoa. My dad and I went to walk to school together every day up until like the 9th grade, and I think that's something we need to get back to. Father and son spending time together because fathers, they need us. But it was real cool all the way up until like the 10th grade. Well, I made it to the 10th, he flunked, so that was the end of that. 6 years of college, 6 years. Yeah, I know a few of y'all looking at me like, don't judge me. I'm very proud of my associate's degree. Thank you very much. Commitment. Left there and joined the U.S. Army. I am 4th generation veteran myself. Yes, I am. Very proud of that fact. My lineage is very, very simple. My great-grandfather was a Buffalo Soldier. My grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman. My dad was a Vietnam vet who lost a leg for this country in Vietnam. And I'm really proud that, you know, he made me. I'm glad he made me before he went over there to Vietnam. Because he came back, he made my brother and my sister, so I just called him my half-brother, my half-sister. So, do a lot of flying, a lot of traveling. I was recently, I'm going to tell you something. Anybody, if you travel, clap if you travel. Clap if you travel. If you notice, their airlines are getting cheaper and cheaper by the day. I'm sorry. It used to be first class meant you was doing something. You know, hey, I'm sitting in first class. I'm right here by the door. Everything's great. All it means now is you get off the plane first. They used to give you special things in first class, like soda. I was flying first class the other day. A young lady opened up a can of Shasta and said, "Baby, here you go." And I said, "Well, thank you." She said, "Just take a sip and pass it back." Yeah, I was recently out in Arizona. And, you know, they have that immigration law thing that they're fighting in the Supreme Court right now. Yeah, it's ugly. But the thing, the way it works is now you have to be able to prove your citizenship at the drop of a dime. Well, I'm driving along down the highway and I get pulled over because I didn't see that sign that said slow down. Highway patrolman pulled me over. Now, to his surprise, because he did not know I was a brother in a Durango, and that's something that brothers shouldn't drive because there's not a lot of room in there. I pull over, he pulls up to me and walks up to the window. I let down my window. To his surprise, I'm a brother. To my surprise, he's Mexican. He decides to get cool. Order de que paso, Holmes. I'm like, what's up? He goes, "You're going a little fast back there. I'm going to need to see your driver's license and your proof of citizenship." I'm like, "Really?" "You first, Manuel." That cost me $200. I am really, really glad to see the young people. Matter of fact, y'all clap for the young people. I love kids. Very glad to see you. I have 7 grandbabies, and I love my grandbabies dearly. And I can do something most grandparents cannot do at the drop of a dime. I can name all 7 of my grandbabies. Yeah, my grandbabies' names are Stop, Quit, Sit Down, Shut Up. No, you can't have no more. Why is you doing that? When is your mama picking you up? But I love them. Well, see, I have 2 kids of my own. I call them the Antichrist and her brother. Well, no, people always talk about how bad the kids are. My kids are not bad. My kids are possessed. Yeah. I got proof. Yeah, video, pictures, dead priest. I got all that. Yeah. Oh. No, well, see, it would be that way. I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid. My mom was an evangelist. God bless her soul. And I take my kids down to Georgia to visit my mom, and they see my mom, and they get out the truck and run over to hug my mom. I'm sorry, hug my mom. No, y'all see, y'all don't understand. My mom's 5'9", about a Diet Coke from 375 and 4 shades darker than asphalt. No, my mom was so black, she had her own Crayola in the Crayola box. It just said Shirley. The cameraman even laughed. I like that. So anyway, they hug mom, and they see these 2 beautiful peach trees in the backyard. They run to the back. They eat the peaches like it's Thanksgiving. My mom says, "Whoa, I got this." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I step to the side. My mom walks back to the back to my daughter. She does this number right here. I'm like, cool. She has blessed my kids' life's gonna be good. We get back in the truck. I said, "Princess, I seen your grandmother bless you. What was up with that?" She said, "Daddy, that was no blessing." I said, "Baby, then what was?" She said, "Daddy, Grandma said, them my peaches. Get your butt down out my tree and get out my yard before I kill you both." I will say this because I'm hot. And I need to get from up under these lights. I feel like rotisserie chicken right now. If you have a dream, pursue your dream. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. Tomorrow is not too late. My case in point is this. 5 years ago, I was an insurance agent right here in St. Louis. And I decided, yeah, I want to do this comedy thing. So somebody said, if you're going to do it now, you either do it now or forget it. I said, well, I'm not getting no younger, and I'm not getting no better looking. I am getting better looking. So I packed my things into my car, and I have traveled from coast to coast, from north to south, overseas to entertain the troops. Whatever you do in this life, do it with everything that you got, believe in it, and don't let go. I'm Longhorn The Comedian. God bless y'all. It is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce y'all tonight. This gentleman has written a book that I think is just absolutely phenomenal. I encourage you to read it. It's Leadership and Fellowship 360. This gentleman is retired Air Force. This man is a minister. This man is just awesome. They call him the Transformer. And tonight, I tell you, if you pick up his book, it'll transform your life. Y'all, please clap for him. Jeff.
Beatle Bob, embrace it, understand it, perform it to the best of your ability, regardless of which role you're serving in. And then operate with a sense of oneness, a sense of a shared vision, a shared purpose, a common goal. Oneness. And I guarantee you, if you do those things, not only will you meet your goals, but you will succeed.
Welcome to the Benita Show, Jeff.
Thank you.
Jeff and I have a history together, do we not?
Yes, we did.
Tell them the history, Jeff.
Well, Bonita used to be my commander when I was in the Air Force. So she was one of these individuals that had to go, ma'am, chief witness reports, all that fun stuff. But she was always a great commander, a great boss. And I'm so proud of her and what she's accomplished.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, we used to wear the uniform together back in the day out at Scott. But what we're talking about today, though, is the Transformer, just the Transformer. He is an author, a pastor, and an awesome motivational speaker. We showed a little clip there. You can see him speaking, but he goes all across the nation, motivating people, and also holding conferences for leaders, Air Force leaders, and leaders in business, in the industry world, and everything, kind of telling them how to transform their units. So tell us a little bit about your book, Jeff. Leadership Followership 360.
Yes, the book, Leadership Followership 360. When I was in the Air Force, I was so amazed at the level of teamwork that was being demonstrated, day to day. And then it got to a point as I, transcended the ranks and became a chief, I started wondering, what can I do to really make these teams work more efficiently? Now, as a Chief Master Sergeant, that's the highest rank in the enlisted force. But at the same time, we've been stressing to people they have to be leaders, they have to be leaders. But I came to realization, when you get a room full of leaders together who don't want to follow, there's a lot of chaos. So the topic, leadership followership, came up because even as a leader, we have to be willing to humble ourselves, submit to someone else's authority. And it's all about getting the job done. We all have that same focus, that one mission, that we can work together. So I wrote the book on leadership followership to talk about the concept of following. And it's not this passive, negative stereotype we have a tendency to attach to the word following. But it's about putting forth your best effort, whether you're leading or following, or depending on what role you are serving in, to make sure you do it in a spirit of excellence. And that's something that I'm really excited about, that spirit of excellence.
Yeah, this is when was the last time you gave a speech, Jeff?
It was this past Saturday, matter of fact. I was a keynote speaker at a Toastmasters Leadership Institute, and the topic was spirit of excellence. And I'm gonna tell you, it was so exciting to give that particular presentation because, as I was sharing with the group, the spirit of excellence is one of those invisible forces that produces a visible outcome. And I was sharing with the people, once you have the spirit of excellence, you start seeing things. So the things that you start seeing, you'll see that it's consuming. It gets on you, it consumes you. You'll see that it's continuous in everything you do. When we was in the Air Force, one of the mottos or one of the core values was excellence in all we do. And that key word is all. Everything you do, whether you're leading, whether you're a team member, is about doing excellence. And I can say this show here is definitely done in the spirit of excellence. I remember being on a previous show, and I thought that was great. When I walked in here, I was like, wow. The spirit of excellence, it just continues in a person. And more importantly, it's contagious. And I tell you what, if you keep hanging around Bonita, it's going to jump on you. It's going to consume you. So I love hanging around people who are doing positive things, doing great things.
Now, Jeff, when you were in the military, did you know what you were going to be doing when you retired?
No. when I retired, it was that day came, and it was like, okay, what you gonna do? I thought I was gonna go back into the government sector, start doing a 9-to-5 job. But as they say, a revelation came upon me, and I started the business, JCW Team Consultants. It was just a leap of faith, walk by faith. And then about a year later, I was called to the pastoral ministry. I was like, all right then. So that was a big turn as well. And I must honestly say that I'm enjoying this half of my life. It's exciting being able to just make things happen, affect people's lives in a positive way, whether pastoring, or doing motivation presentations, even going to school.
What did your family think when you thought about retiring? And your leap of faith?
It was like, what? I was like, yeah. What you gonna do? Good question. But I can honestly say my wife, who's also an Air Force veteran, she just retired as well. After a while, and after much prayer, she got on board. And she became very supportive, not only in the business, but also in ministry, things of that nature.
How often do you travel speaking?
Maybe once or twice a month. I have it spread out. I had to cut back a little bit because of pastoral ministry, and plus working on a PhD can be very time consuming. So
How close are you getting done with that?
I'll finish the coursework next summer, and then I'll start working on a dissertation. Yes.
At this time, open the floor for any questions anybody would have for retired Chief Master Sergeant Jeff Williams. Oh, we got one right there.
If there were any message that you would want to send to each one of us, what would that be?
I'll go back to the spirit of excellence in all that you do, whether it's in your home life, professional life. Always give it your best. Something I harp on is everybody bringing your A game to the table, especially in the corporate world. We rely so much on the leader doing everything. And my challenge to those who are on the team, meet the leader halfway. It's a team effort. And I believe that we've all been gifted to the point where we can just do phenomenal things. We all just put forth our best effort. I brought some books. Here again, Leadership, Followership, at a discounted price of $10 each. Yes. But you can also find on the website at www.jeff, that is J-E-F with one F, Williams.com. You'll see some other, fascinating things on the website.
Any other questions? Okay.
How long did it take you to write your book?
Without the starting and the stopping, I would say about 4 or 5 months. I think it was the editing process that took a little time, and I'm glad it took that time. I wanted to make sure I put together a good product, so it was worth the wait. I do want to add something though. I remember an incident. She was at the fitness center working out, the YMCA working out. And I came up to her and said, "Hey, Bonita, how you doing?" It's after retirement. She said, "Oh, just a little bit of this and a good job. Just taking care of the kids, family." I said, "That's wonderful. So what you doing for Bonita?" She said, "Look, what are you doing for Bonita?"
Let me stop him right here because he came up to me because I was probably looking crazy. My hair probably wasn't. I probably was looking thrown away a little bit. But anyway, go ahead, Jeff.
So I said, "What are you doing for Bonita?" Because I know you were taking care of the children and everything. But what seems to happen is when a person retires from the military, it seems like life ends for them. And I would say, no, that's not you, because I saw her perform as Tina Turner at a talent show. And I was like, who is that woman? I mean, she was phenomenal. I was like, and then when I saw that she was an officer, I was like, wow, that's all right. When I saw it at the gym,
no officers can move like that.
Exactly. She was doing it. But I said, what do you think about doing? What are your dreams? What are you passionate about? And she told me. I said, do it. Just do it. And when I started seeing how she was just starting to make things happen, it just inspired me even more to take my game to the next level. So I'm so proud of her as to where she started, that is on the treadmill, to now, sitting in front of a live camera. So I think that deserves an applause for Bonita.
I'm sorry I didn't bring that up before, but I will never forget that conversation because he reminded me of who I am on the inside. Because after I retired, my focus was on making those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and my babies, and I kind of forgot about Bonita for a second and those dreams that I had, and he reminded me, and I went home with that on my mind and on my heart. And then I said, I gotta do what I was created to do. And that is entertainment and a little bit of this, a little bit of acting, and whatever else comes up in entertainment.
And she's still a wonderful mother.
Yeah.
You can still do it all and be a wonderful mother and a wonderful wife. So I applaud you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Applaud you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience before we let them go? No other questions? Jeff, thank you so much for coming on. Oh, you got one?
Jeff, if you could give a message to several St. Louis leaders on what you thought that they could be doing to help the region as a whole, what would your message be to them?
I would definitely tell the leaders, listen to the people that you are leading. Oftentimes, as leaders, we get fixated on what we want, what we see. And I believe as a leader, we have to really look at the talent that is around us and really, take that input that they're giving us and trust them.
Any more? Okay. Thank you again for coming on the Bonita Show, Jeff.
My pleasure.
And much success to you, Jeff.
Thank you. Likewise.
Okay, y'all got one more time for, I don't know whether to call him pastor or chief or Jeff Williams. Awesome. I mean, Air Force career is not easy, man. Being in the military is not. I'm a proud retired private E1, so I'm kind of proud of that. So now we're going to keep this thing going. I met this young lady out front. I got a chance to peruse. She has 3 wonderful books. The one that really caught my attention was The Magnificent Man. Dr. Marjorie Wolter. Y'all
Wow, we've chit-chatted quite a bit.
Yes, we don't have history, we're making history.
Yes, thank you. She has written 3 wonderful books. Doctor, I might add, she was in dentistry for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years and left dentistry, so I'm not the only crazy person in the house.
My children would say you're absolutely right.
She's not the only person who left her a career to pursue a passion. I did 22 years in military, 20 years of dentistry. We're all dream followers. So she has written some awesome books. The Magnificent Men, recognize them, and they'll change your life. Right?
Absolutely.
And I tell you what, Marjorie, thanks for coming on the Bonita Show. And talk to us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about those books, and then we're going to talk about your philosophies on getting better at what we do.
They're all 3 based on the premise that anything is possible, and that just when you think you're at a dead end and it's ugly and there's nothing that can possibly save your rear end, that's when magic happens. And so it was the same, whether the first book or the third. I spent 20 years in dentistry and had come to a place where I had achieved all the goals that I had. I achieved the vision of what I wanted to accomplish in dentistry. And then all these men started showing up in my life doing very simple things. One that comes to mind in particular is a man who opened the door every day at a hotel I stayed at. And every person that walked through that door, he would open the door for them and he would say, "Have a blessed day." And the way he said that changed my day every day. And I know it was the same for every other person who he encountered. And it made me realize, to an even fuller extent, that it doesn't matter what we do. It matters that we do it from our soul and from our heart, and that is what changes the world.
Yeah.
So as those people kept coming in and coming in, a new vision came to me. And that's also another overriding philosophy for me, which is we talk about goals, which are wonderful things. They're structural and they're logical, and even when we think really big, we're still only using that logical part of our brain. It came to me that we need to be visionaries. And I actually wrote an article that Bonita commented on that she loved called "Goalinaries Don't Exist." Because there's no, how can you be a goalinary? A goal is a very linear, logical thing. And again, even if you think big, you're not engaging that creative part of yourself, that spiritual part of yourself. So visionary became paramount to me. But I had never written before, and it was exactly as some authors I've heard describe, that the books have a life of their own. And so they started coming, and one book turned into two, and then two turned into three, and going from a very structured career to literally going off the ranch for probably 2 years. My friends thought I was psychotic, you know, they wondered what the heck happened to me, and I was sitting at home all day in sweats. And it was also very similar to other people I've heard say, some days you write 10 pages, and other days you stare at the wall for a week. You know, and you wonder how you're possibly going to finish these things. The process itself was magical, and jumping off into the ethers of knowing nothing about how this process was going to live or what was going to support me in the process was daunting, and yet it was extremely important to me in terms of living authentically. I also felt very strongly that as a mother, I couldn't ask my children to be authentic and live truthfully if I wasn't willing to do the same thing. And so even though it can look crazy and completely illogical on the surface, for me, my life has become so full because of taking that leap.
Does she not just exude happiness and energy? Positive, you said a positive energy flowing your way? Yeah. We will take some questions from the audience at this time. Oh, we got to hand it straight up.
Okay, Ms. Margie. So how does one recognize a vision? And once one does or doesn't recognize it, if it isn't exactly clear, what do you do?
Vision comes through you, not from you. And I think that's such a perfect question, because opening yourself up to the energy that's greater than you, whatever you choose to call that, is the place where vision originates. And that's another reason that it's so much more grand than a goal could ever be. So whether it's going to bed at night and before you turn the light off you say, I really want to know, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Or I really want to know, what is it that God has planned for me that I can't even see? You can do it through sleep, through dreams, through meditation, or just holding that intention. I'm very big though on using goals to get to the vision. So when you don't feel that you have the entire vision, you can just take the next step. Create the next goal, one step at a time. Goal, if you can think of the vision as your North Star, and then goals are the structure that builds the ladder to your North Star. So it's both. You really want to be engaging all of who you are in this process. Thank you.
Any more books in the works?
Yes, always. As I said, they have a life of their own. So.
Such a pleasure to have you, and we're going to have to say goodbye as our MC takes the stage. Thank you so much for coming on the Bonita Show, and much success to you.